Become big. Oh my God, we're live, boys. Welcome, America, to the best hour of your day. Assuming your day is very, very mediocre. This is the Eric and Rodney show with Robin. Oprah is going to come on at any second now. She's checking with her people. She's having a hard time logging into StreamYard, but as soon as she figures it out, Oprah Winfrey will be here.
She's waiting on a code.
Waiting on a code. It's always something with technology. Ugh.
Waiting on a code with an email.
Always. Our guests, they have a hard time logging in.
Does Oprah still do shows?
What?
Does Oprah still do shows? Or is that?
Oprah
She does this show.
No, she did this show. I was thinking about this too. Oprah does what we do, and she made lots of money. So I think we just have to get as good as Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
Which begs the question: was Oprah really that good? I mean, I'm neither here nor there on her, but what made her so special?
I think I know.
What?
People like my mom used to watch her show religiously. She had
Yeah.
a daytime show. I don't know about now. But you know what? One thing I was going to say that to bring up, rather, is Oprah has her own network.
I know.
Yeah, the own network. So I think Oprah's like
Yeah.
You know.
No, I mean, she's
in another galaxy.
we're where Oprah was in like 1980. when she
Before she was born.
She just
Before
had a
she was
dream. Yeah. But we're up.
Before she knew what a show was. That's
Right.
us.
That's us.
Yeah.
What?
Was it Oprah? Was it Oprah or Ellen that like kept giving her viewers free stuff?
Oprah gave people cars.
She would be like, you get one, you get one, you get one.
Okay.
Everybody got a
so
car.
it's really
Yeah.
Oprah.
Ellen, remember,
Start doing.
you're confusing it. Ellen was beating her staff.
Right.
Oprah was giving
It's
gifts.
very similar.
He's confused. He's confused.
Well, the problem is Ellen and Oprah look very alike. So I could see it. Fundamentally confused
I
about
guess
who
I'm
is who.
confused. I'm sorry, guys.
Did you guys hear? Just breaking news. Wanted to share with you. I should have done it in the green room, but what do they call it? The Duke and Duchess? Is that their official title now? Harry and Meghan, right?
Yeah.
Those two. Is it Harry? Yes, Harry. Harry and Meghan now have been dropped and left Spotify.
Oh, they had a thing. That's right.
They had a podcast. Only released one season of it in 2020,
Okay.
and got $20 million.
Oh, wow.
So the point I'm
shit,
telling,
yeah.
the reason I bring it up,
Yep.
is that there is a vacancy for 20 million and a show.
Okay.
If anybody knew of a show,
You accidentally
vacancy.
segued. Speaking of vacancies, you're never gonna guess who just said.
There he is.
Hey.
We had
Our
a
favorite-
vacancy because Oprah couldn't figure out how to log into StreamYard. But you know who
our
does?
favorite. This is it's our favorite average dude. Hey, brother,
Yeah, you guys know how to bring on the exciting guest. I'm telling
that's
you.
right.
This was a bait and switch. We advertised Oprah, but you got the average dude. In many ways, it's better.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I'm happy to be joining you guys. Come on now.
Oh, good.
We're happy to have you, brother.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do the news, but I was thinking. So this is a month of us doing daily lives. So this is a good time to
Yes.
do a nice little recap. And I know that you, the average dude, have mixed up your format recently. We're all trying to figure out how to be Oprah, right?
Yeah. We're trying to figure out how to be Oprah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think after we do the news segment, we need to talk. You know, a month in review.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I think that'll be helpful for me. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think the audience is going to love every second of it.
They are going to be
Also,
they're probably anticipating. There are people calling their friends right now,
Right.
telling them to jump on. So
if you want to be Oprah, tune in. All right, what do we got in the news? Can I just point out that this is the most unprepared I've ever been for a show. I didn't read any of the news stories because my son won Student of the Month, which is really an award for me.
Congratulations.
Thank
Oh
you.
wow! Listen to
Yes.
him bragging on himself there. That's awesome.
I raised them.
Yeah.
If you have a prize-winning cow, you give no. It's the fucking guy that raised the cow, right? Come on, man.
Wait, but here's a question. Just to clarify, your son is not homeschooled. Is that correct?
Oh, Rodney, don't be piling on, man.
he's
Don't
weighing
be piling
everything.
on.
Yeah,
No,
let's
I like to get him going.
The average dude was Student of the Month every month.
Oh yeah, I was killing it.
Yes, Becky.
That's true.
We're going to be
He's
too
right.
big for this platform very, very shortly. I would say mid-August we blow up.
Yeah, it won't be long now.
No. All right, so what do we got in the news there, Robin?
Okay, first segment. North Korea is back at it again, testing new ballistic missiles. and they're launching it into the sea of neighboring countries, leaving Japan and South Korea on high alert. Now, I know Eric has lived in South Korea for a long time. Was there ever like imminent threats with the whole DMZ line?
So this is what we would do for fun, or what do they call field trips? You ever take field trips in the Philippines? So we would take field trips to the DMZ, and they'd give us this whole tour. They'd say essentially that if North Korea lost their mind and did full-scale war, they sort of like Seoul would be destroyed because it's like 10 miles. It's over 30. It's short to Seoul. But having said that, North Korea is a fucking nightmare. Like on the border, there's something called Propaganda City. It's made to look like a utopian society, but all the lights go on and off at the same point because nobody lives there. It's like a Disney World facade. But they think if the South Koreans would look over there, they go, "Oh my God, look at this place! Holy shit!" So they
that's real. That's real. Hold on a second. Wait, I don't know this. Yeah, and so okay, so hold on. Are there people there, or it's just like it's like a Disneyland, but there's no people?
It's a Hollywood resort. It's like a Hollywood facade. It's like, in the Old West when it would be like a thing and it'd be like 2x4s holding it up. It's that. North Korea. So there's one building that spans the border for meetings because the North and South will meet sometimes, and you're allowed to go in there. And North Korean soldiers will come down, and this is the best of the best that they have guarding the border. They are emaciated as fuck. Like they are not. They just don't look healthy. They give rations to their people. You get like a chicken and egg and a bag of rice. This is like, stop sending ballistic missiles. Start feeding your people. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to tell a country how to run itself.
No, that's insanity.
A lot like it's the dictator. It's just short, fat, annoying kid that just doesn't dude, we can beat the shit out of you. Just stop it. I mean, I don't think they're not a global threat. They're just a pain in the ass.
They're a nightmare.
That was the politics hour.
So that's taking North Korea and South Korea. That's one thing I can actually appreciate about capitalism is that you have North Korea and South Korea that had the exact same resources and situation. Thank God South Korea got adopted by the Americans, and then North Korea was introduced to communism. And you could just see for the people that think communism works, I mean, there you have North Korea.
Yeah. You see the nighttime satellite photos, the border separates where there's lights in life and where it's a country that's totally black. Like there's just they're so this is the other thing. There's plenty of great documentaries on this. Their power grid is obviously shitty, but when the lights go out, they blame the Americans. So there's only one radio station. It's pumped into every house, and when the lights go off, they go fucking Americans again, shutting our lights off, and they buy into it, which is pretty good propaganda.
That's insane. That's completely insane. And you know what's funny is that. I got to be honest, I don't understand what his obsession is with having a nuclear weapon. I was thinking about it, right? Even if he was able to manufacture a nuclear weapon, I mean, do they have iPhones there?
I don't know. I don't think.
If you ever go to Cuba, right? I've never been to Cuba, but I know a lot of people that went to Cuba, and people they're riding around in 57 Chevys, and I'm I don't think warring with the U.S. is ever the right. In Iran, they've never seen an iPhone before. You know what I mean? They're just so far behind. And I'm thinking to myself, if I was Kim Jong-un or whatever his name is, I would have asked Donald Trump, bring a couple of phones with you and a laptop. we need some tech. You know what I mean? He's going to build a nuclear weapon. They don't even have the internet.
I don't think they have a Game Boys. They're way far behind. We get Atari over there.
Where would he store this at, right? Under his bed? You know what I mean?
This is great, too, because you can talk all the shit you want about North Koreans. They'll never see it. It's like the Amish. They're fair game. You know what I mean? You can say whatever the fuck you want about North Koreans and the Amish. No one gets mad.
Oh, that's true. Kim Jong-un is really a character. He actually blew up his uncle in front of all the politicians with an aircraft gun.
Yeah. Do you remember when he faked his own death a couple years ago? He said he died during heart surgery and nobody believed it. And 2 months later, it's just kidding. Just like the second news story that we have. I don't know if you want to stay on North Korea, but.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a great segue.
Was that a story from Fox?
The second one's from Fox. It is.
Fox loves
it's also really absurd. Okay, so you're gonna laugh at this headline, but there is a Belgian TikTok star that faked his own death as a stunt for attention from his family, which is quite sad. His reason: he never got invited to anything. He grew apart and felt unappreciated. When his guests assembled to his funeral, he arrived by helicopter and scolded them. As bizarre as it sounds, his message is: don't wait until someone is dead to meet up with him.
Now that's news. This is the kind of news that I tune in for. That is
Wait, is this a real story, or are you messing around with it?
No, it's real.
It's real. He was so. I mean, that is sad. I think all humans are kind of desperate for attention, right? There's a lot of human beings out there. We want to be noticed, but this guy's taking it to another level.
He rented a fucking helicopter. We got to get on TikTok. They have helicopter money. You know how many people went to on LinkedIn before we have helicopter money? Oh,
you know what I don't understand though is that, let me make sure I understand. So he's he's a celebrity on TikTok. Is this right? I'm just putting it all together. TikTok celebrity, and he has enough money to rent a helicopter, and he doesn't have any friends.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? I agree, Rodney.
I'm just spitballing here. Perhaps he has no friends because this kind of guy that would fake his death, rent a helicopter, and put it on the internet.
Well, $1 billion idea, Eric. I was thinking that he could rent you and I as his best friends, and I promise you, we will get him some friends. If you pay me $10,000 an hour, we can become the best of friends.
You know what's even more fun?
Drinking.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Belgians are cool, but he had his daughters in on it too. Like his daughters were writing about his death, being like, "Oh, whatever, sad posts on Twitter." Yeah, so it was really elaborate.
Wow. Yeah, that is elaborate.
His message, to be fair, is kind of meaningful, but like the way that he did it, I don't think there's any justification there.
His message. So the ends did not justify the means in this case, but he tried. And I'm sure, listen, he's a TikTok star. He has helicopter money, and he's on the front page of Fox News. So,
do we know, though, if he has been invited to Taco Tuesday at the family's house?
You think
has he invited to anything, right?
You know who we should get on the show?
Him.
This guy.
Listen, I got to be honest with you. When he said the guy rented a helicopter, I thought initially, I was like, this got to be great for the show. When I heard helicopter,
yeah.
That's too big budget.
Yeah.
He's too big for us. After Kobe Bryant, I'm never going in a helicopter. It's horrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was crazy. That whole incident with Kobe was pretty crazy.
Well, what confuses me is how the fuck do you hit a mountain? Like, aren't those avoidable? They're gigantic rocks.
Well, he was supposedly a very experienced pilot, but there were some low clouds, and I can't remember exactly what happened. But he got lost in the clouds, didn't know where he was.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
All this technology, we can't see through clouds yet.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't there
working on it?
Isn't there like a pull-up warning that would happen or something?
Yeah, it's like the Chris Rock bit about how we're curing everything else except for blindness. We just give you a dog. There's no medicine. Here's a Chihuahua. God bless.
Chris Rock is a national treasure.
He is a national.
We have to protect him from
at all costs.
Will Smith.
That's such a good. But we let Chris Rock down. We really did.
Now, what do y'all think about that whole Chris Rock situation? Have y'all talked about that before?
I thought it was absurd.
No, we can talk about it now.
I know you talked about it on your show, though.
Yeah, we did, and so I was kind of curious about what y'all thought about that. My guest was a big Will Smith fan, and I like Will Smith. You know, some of his work and stuff, but I thought that was just. I couldn't back him up on that. That was way out of line in my opinion.
It's such a bitch move too, because Rock's not going to do anything back to you. You know,
right? Yeah, I mean,
he's hosting a show. Was he going to tackle you now? No, you just slapped him because you could, and you went and sat back down like a bitch. So yeah,
you know what I thought though. To be honest, I really like Chris Rock, but I thought Chris Rock. I mean, what was he going to do?
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean.
And he took it like a man too. Like he stood there. He didn't really roll with it. He just took it. So Chris Rock tougher than we give him credit for.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, I think everybody took Chris Rock's side.
Well,
right? But I'm saying I don't think what would be your argument for Will?
Yeah, well, do you think his joke was out of line?
He's a comedian. He's a comedian.
Yeah, and what you do with these things is roast other celebrities. Have you seen
if Chris Rock came on here and roasted me, I would be fine with it.
Right. And that was the lightest roasting I've ever heard. G.I. Jane 2. That's honestly, it's a bad joke. It's not a bad joke. It's just a stupid joke. It's a throwaway line.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he got slapped for that. Have you heard the shit Ricky Gervais says? Oh, it's 1,000 times worse.
Oh, absolutely. And the guest that we had on, he mentioned that that he was kind of, he said, women, you don't know how much is that my mic messing up? But he said you don't realize how much power women have over men, right? And so he's saying that because she reacted that way, she kind of forced him into that. What do y'all think about that?
Well, I know he didn't slap the dude that slept with Jada Pinkett Smith. He chose to slap Chris Rock, so he sucks.
Yeah.
She went on national TV and it was like, yeah, I cheated on you, and he fucking cried. Did you hear at the end? Did you watch Chris Rock's special when he goes off on Will Smith at the end? It's beautiful.
It was good.
I did watch the punchback. Yeah. I think that evened the score after that. You know, I think he got it all out.
Even if you're going to get into a physical altercation, do it backstage where Chris Rock can at least defend himself. You know?
Yeah, I know. I agree. That was strange. I mean, when has that ever happened before?
And then he won an Academy Award.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so that was strange. He didn't do himself any favors.
You know what the other thing? Why does he punch him? Why do you slap a man? Like, are we slapping each other now? Have we all?
Yeah. Here's the other thing too, right? Didn't he play Ali? Surely he learned how to box.
Well, that walk that he had back to his seat.
Becky.
You remember the walk after he slapped him? He walked back
He walked back like he was Conor McGregor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Hey, now Conor does have a walk. My gosh.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So fuck Will Smith. I don't know. Are we all?
I mean, like if you ask me, right, who do I think has contributed more to the landscape of entertainment in my mind?
Yeah,
Chris Rock. But some people may say Will.
Chris Rock between 1999 and 2002 was the biggest thing that's ever. He's arguably the greatest comedian of all time. He has a case. No one's going to go Will Smith is the greatest actor of all time. And look, I like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know, that episode where he cries because his father takes off. Very emotional, great actor. But he's no Chris Rock.
Chris Rock's hysterical.
Oh my God. He's, like you said, he's a national treasure.
It's also bizarre
we
to
must
me
protect him.
how they televised the whole cheating thing with him and his wife.
Like, you know why? Because he hasn't had a hit movie in 20 years. So you
got to go. She had a show on Red Table or Facebook. Is it Red Table? Or what's that thing on Facebook called? Red? No, it was the Red Table on Facebook Live. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. And he came on to talk about it. Let's be honest, right? Like she's famous too. Like Jada Pinkett Smith is famous.
Yeah, but I'm not sure why is she like she's been in what? She was in one of those seminal gangster movies in the 90s. But what has she been in since? Why is she famous? Everybody, name your favorite Jada Pinkett Smith movie. No.
I could give you the answer, but it's going to be offensive.
What's the answer?
Well, because she's married to Will Smith.
Because she's what?
Because she's married to Will Smith.
Because she's banging Will Smith. Exactly.
But to Eric's point, right? Let's say this. To Eric's point, right? And I'm thinking now, maybe I'm wrong. No, that was Jamie Foxx. What? Because I was thinking Ray, but no, that was Jamie. Right? I'm sorry. I'm just thinking. Right? What has Will Smith done that has been incredible? Like he was incredible in Ali, right? But I'm thinking, what has he done?
I don't know. I liked
that's just been
Men in Black 1 and 2 were good. Bad Boys was.
Oh yeah, that was like I'm telling you, that was 100 years ago.
Oh, I know. I'm saying he hasn't done shit lately.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I mean.
This is why he has to go on TV and talk about his wife banging somebody else and then slap Chris Rock because he hasn't done shit. Woo. Well, what? I mean, what? All right, listen.
You're right. I was thinking, what's he done?
Listen, I'm a big defender of one-hit wonders because they have one more hit than I have. But I'm just saying the guy hasn't done shit in 20 years, so why you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can poll the audience, everybody, to tell me.
No, actually, he did King Richard. Remember, he won an Academy Award for that. I forgot about that. He did King Richard.
Yeah, we are forgetting about the Academy Award he just won. But aside from
that, like, what's he done?
Yeah, is that all?
Okay, he wins one Academy Award in the past year. All right, fine. I lose, but it's still Chris Rock.
I love how we covered that for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, Independence Day was a fantastic.
Independence Day was a great movie. Yes.
Yeah, the speech at the end where humanity all comes together, we fight aliens, which would never happen, by the way.
Never.
Got me teary.
Wait, so me and Dan are the only two people on this show that believe in aliens.
What's that?
Yes. You and I are the only ones that believe in
aliens.
Aliens are real. These two don't.
Yeah, they'll figure it out eventually.
I think it's because me and Rodney are the only sane ones on the show.
You know what? That's the exact award. He won that award the night that he slapped Chris.
Oh, so yeah, it could have been that they just gave it to exactly. You know how sometimes in sports you get like makeup calls, like if they miss a couple, like call a couple strikes and it wasn't, they'll give you a ball. I think that's what it was. He couldn't have been that good in that movie. Yeah, see,
I got to be honest. I saw the movie. I thought he was pretty good, but I'll say this, right? There were better movies.
He should have won it for Independence Day. Or
yeah, like here's the thing, right? Like it was really good, right? But it was the story of Venus and Serena Williams. Like, I mean, it was going to be good. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like that was ever going to be a terrible movie.
Right.
In my mind, right?
It was going to be good. They should have done
right. Could have done Tom Cruise. Yeah.
All right. Can we? You want to have a ghost debate, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Aliens or ghosts? What wacko shit YouTube believes in?
Ghosts. I don't believe in. If there's anyone that believes in ghosts, I'm gonna.
What is a ghost anyway? Can we define what a ghost is?
An apparition.
Yeah.
I asked that once. I was like, when I was little, I was like, "What's a ghost?" And I remember somebody was like, "An apparition." I'm like, "I don't know what the hell that even. What does that even mean?"
What? Help me here.
You've been stealing.
I remember thinking they don't know either.
Yeah. Michael said he's seen both.
I went to high school with Mike, and he could probably chime in on North Korea as well.
Yeah.
South Korea. Hold on. Oh, that kind of.
Okay. See, we have some ghost believers.
Let's focus in. Are we talking? I really don't know. I've lost the land. Is it ghosts or aliens that we're discussing?
Yes.
It's who would win in a battle.
We are never going to be Oprah at this rate.
No.
No. You know what we got to do? I had an idea. It parlays into LinkedIn dating. You ready?
Well, who's driving?
Is that we have. This is how you get famous. I figured it out. I want to share it with you guys. We have to start doing paternity tests on LinkedIn Live.
Oh yeah. Oh
wow.
That's the secret, right? You are not the father.
Oh.
Yeah. The other thing we could do is we could take content and figure out whether it's from ChatGPT or real, and then we could say you are not the author.
Oh,
you are not the author. I like that.
I think
I like it.
No, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So here's the question: who's going to film the reactions of the people when they find out they are or aren't the father?
Yeah, you're gonna need an on-site correspondent in the field.
That's gonna
be like Gary Vaynerchuk has.
Yeah.
All right, listen, Mike. Next week we're gonna bring you on. You're gonna talk about
he's got to tell us
alien stories. I hope it involves anal probing because really that seems to be what they're obsessed with. Out of all our holes, they can't get enough of our ass. Which is hillbilly ass. That's what aliens. Woo. All right, do we have more news stories?
Yeah, we do. So we're talking about Google again, and they are now utilizing generative AI to help shoppers pick out what clothes would look good on them. So you can now go onto Google and use it as a tool to see what you're going to look like on certain clothing items. So this might be actually really useful because they're using live models that represent different body shapes, ethnicities, skin tones, and hair types. So you don't have to go to the store anymore. You can just upload a picture of yourself, and it's just going to imagine what you're going to look like in the new clothing.
Wow.
I think Google, like Hollywood, is running out of ideas. It's like Aerosmith. Aerosmith is fucking great. Love them. Favorite rock and roll band. But if they put out an album now, it's going to suck. Google is blowing their load when it comes to useful technology. Now they're just making.
I think it's kind of useful.
Oh, just buy the fucking shirt. If it doesn't look good, return it. What are you doing? Stop it.
Yeah, here's how it goes, Robin. Let me explain to you. You buy a shirt. If it doesn't fit, it becomes a gift.
Right, exactly. Bada bingo, bada bingo.
You're like, hey, bro, I got you something.
It's never. You don't think they're going to make the shirt look better on virtual you to sell the product? Of course they are. It's not going to be an accurate representation.
Well, okay, that's not true. You're talking about Google here. We can trust Google.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. they're always on the up and up.
You know, Google's only watching out for us.
Of course. Obviously. All right, I guess I'm wrong again. I'm getting crushed. Does anybody else have an opinion on this stupid thing?
I think it's terrible. It's terrible. It's stupid.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing your point, sort of.
You know what? Here's the thing, right? So the tech companies have our information. They have our passwords, usernames, bank account numbers, all of it.
Yeah.
Now they have our voices and our likeness. Now they have our measurements. Soon they won't even need us anymore.
They got all the
They have
data.
our measurements.
We'll be walking around in the metaverse, right?
Like, holy shit, it's me.
Yeah, it was some crazy movie one time I saw with Bruce Willis, and it was in the future, and everybody was like an android. They were like this with a thing on it, and I was like, "This is where we're headed."
I think so. I mean, what that makes me think of, trying on clothes, is these virtual worlds that are going to become more and more realistic, and it's going to become alternate instead of virtual reality, alternate reality, right?
That's right. That's
And
right.
with the deep fakes too, if they have your likeness and you're running for office, they can, manufacture a video of you banging some underage prostitute. But then you go, holy shit, that shirt looks great on me. And Robin's gonna go, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It wasn't me. Is gonna be a new. That song's gonna come back out. It wasn't me. All this,
Yeah, Dan, really quick, what do you think of Robin's shirt?
I think it looks festive.
What's
Very
the
fit.
That was yeah.
He's been, you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. He's been shopping at Sears in the Shia LaBeouf collection.
The Shia LaBeouf section of Sears?
Yeah. What happened to that guy, right?
Oh, he went batshit, didn't he? He went a little.
Yeah, he went crazy, man.
He's not making movies anymore.
He's probably making Transformer 25. Or
Is he out of
the
that
Transformers
franchise,
are
or
now
is
with
he
the Fast
still
and the Furious.
Does anybody know? Becky, Alex, any chicks know what Shia LaBeouf is up to?
I don't know, but the new Transformers movie also just came out. Haven't seen it yet.
But what's
Is
the
he
movie?
in it?
I don't know.
I don't think he's the Vin Diesel of the Transformers franchise. I think he's been
No.
included.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know what he's doing these days. I knew it for a while. He was doing crazy things, like he was watching his movies over and over.
Becky, the question is, what is Shia LaBeouf doing these days?
She's like, he's tied up in my basement
With handcuffs.
with handcuffs.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we wait for that answer. We got another news story, don't we?
Yeah, tell us, Rob.
We do. So I don't know if anyone's big on trade, but so there are now labor-related delays that are hitting a lot of the ports, and this is because the unions want more share of the profits, and so now these contractors don't have work for months, and it's costing the economy $1 billion a day.
Well, who is this? Is this America?
Yeah, it's America.
Yeah, it's
This is a terrible news story. It sounds terrible. Anybody care about trade?
no one cares about trade, but what I do like about this is it's a longshoreman strike, which is like that sounds like a classic strike, right? Not like a writer's strike or a fucking Amazon strike. Longshoreman. This is good. This is a nice throwback, isn't it?
Now, here's the question I have for you. What are the short shoremen going to do? Is that gangs? What's the story there?
They never get recognized. Just like second world countries. There's first world, there's third world. What about the second world? That's the Jerry Seinfeld bit, or it sounds like one.
It's very true.
The short shoresman.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, if the longshoremen, like, if the writers are out, we just use ChatGPT. If the longshoremen are out, do we call in the medium or the
We
the
just
short?
get more short shoremen.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is kind of hard hitting political.
It must be a really slow news day.
All right, what else? I think we got one more that maybe we can comment on.
Yeah, please breathe life into these stories.
I don't think we do.
That's
Well,
it.
let's come up with something.
it,
Search
yeah.
the internet. Go on Google.
Okay.
Sometimes it's really just not.
Didn't we
that-
not cover something yesterday? There has to be a story we had this week we did not cover.
It's fine. We ate up all the story time. Now we can talk to Daniel about, okay, we're all trying to get famous. We're all desperate for attention. Our fathers didn't hug us enough or too much, perhaps. I don't know. So you changed the format to your show.
Changed it somewhat, yeah, and it's continuing to change, right? It's a ever-evolving deal.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel it's going? Well, first of all, explain where the idea came from so the audience knows, and then let us know how it's going.
The idea initially came from, so we've been doing these LinkedIn Lives for about a year, and and someone made a comment on LinkedIn that said, "Hey, none of these lives are interesting. I'm not enjoying any of these lives," and I really appreciated that honesty, and it made me think, what can we do to actually make this interesting, where people really want to tune in, and so that's where the thought started coming. And I said, we're limited on what we can do with I mean, we're somewhat limited. The technology is unbelievable. But I thought, what can we do to bring people in that are watching to make them feel more of a part of it? Because what I realized is the guest and the host might be having a blast, but nobody else.
Give a fuck. Right.
They're in this little shoebox, and they've got some grass and a carrot.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, no, our audience.
I agree with you.
You know, so the idea was to somehow. I mean, it's there's a lot of bells to ring, but what we're trying to do is bring the audience in where they can feel like they're more a part of the interview, right? So with these what we're calling ink blots, you know, an image takes people somewhere. There is no right or wrong answer. You see an image, it takes you somewhere. And that includes the audience. So I thought, well, if the audience is going where they think what they think of, and the guest is going somewhere, and then of course the hosts are as well, and then we can just kind of segue off of that, because wherever your mind goes, tell me why your mind went to wherever it went, and then we start to learn.
Hey, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. You ought to see Jenny Winnie the Average Dude if you like this.
You should.
No, but so that's where some of the ideas came from. It got us to start thinking, how can we make this interesting, and how's it going? Some wins, some losses. You know, I think in the future, I'm definitely gonna pull up a picture of the guest, you know, and make some assumptions, kind of these, you know, this or that type deal. Like, is this person, do they like rock and roll or country, rap or country, or go through a list of things, and then the audience in the very beginning can kind of participate and say, you know, they can make their guess as well. Okay, well, let's welcome them on and go through those questions and see if you were right. You know,
interesting
things
I thought
like
it was clever.
Yeah, and then as we get into our story, the idea with these ink blots, with these images, would be to kind of breadcrumb a path where we can kind of help them tell their story through these images. And because images will bring up, if people will really let go, it'll bring up stories. It will bring up, you know, what we really want to do is make it very comfortable for the guests, so that their mind, we can follow their mind wherever it goes.
Yeah.
But in lieu of them trying to regurgitate an answer that they think that their title means that they're supposed to say, right?
Yeah.
You know, you get a life coach on, let's say, or a sales coach, and they're in that mode. They're talking about all the things that we've probably heard once or twice, right? And so the idea is with ink blots, we can take them off path, take them off course, and get to more of what we're calling human. I think it just before the title, tell us who you really are, because, you know, better humans, better business.
Yeah. I find the business talk pretty fucking boring, but it's LinkedIn, so we kind of have to talk about business, you know?
Yeah. Maybe just a little tie. I mean, for the way that I'm thinking about it is just a little tie-in, you know, just, hey, and that's why I keep kind of trying to come up with that. What's that connection with, you know, laughing at yourself, having a good time, being a human being, connecting on a human level, and how that translates into better business. You know what bothers me about guests too, since we're all professionals at this? We talk about this internally, but we're going to bring it externally. Pontification. Yes. We like pontification. So if we bring something up, like, you know, you'd be like, what's your favorite movies? I ask the music, movies, and food question. Yes. I ask you what your favorite movie is, and you go Rudy, and then we kind of look at each other. That's you need to. I'm not saying you did pontificate. You were a pontificator. I wouldn't complain about something you do. That would be weird. That would be weird. Don't you find that when a guest pontificates, it's a better segment? Yeah. Yes. Well, when they, I think it comes from experience, being in front of the camera, being on things like this, and kind of letting go. Again, when people can be themselves, it doesn't mean that they know all the answers, or they're this or that. It means that they're not trying to conform to a preconceived idea of who they think that they should be. Yeah. Like your guest yesterday was a classic example. I think she came on and she did like her normal business stuff. Yeah. Then you asked about ayahuasca, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. Like that. Because we had a guest on Wednesday that talked about drugs for the entire hour. It was like the greatest hour of my life. Yeah.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
it's not that you have to talk about drugs necessarily, but I just read an
but
article.
you can.
Well, you can. And I wish you would. Don't get me wrong. Like I just read an article on CNN. Since Trump hasn't been in office, their ratings are down by like 50%. It's because he was good for news. Like you need something. You need a hook. You need something.
Yeah.
You know, or people don't tune in.
We need Donald Trump on the show. Is that what you're saying?
On ayahuasca. We need to do a class 4 hallucinogenic.
You're to do the ayahuasca hour. Is the ayahuasca
Hey, but you know, I agree with you. That hook there, you know, regardless of who the guest is, if every time people want to tune in because we kind of pull them through this factory of questions and activities that kind of develop who they are. And so every guest, regardless if they're well known or not well known, or if that person, to watch that human being take their turn running the obstacle course, you might say, right?
Yes,
So
that's why in the next segment, like I know you do the words. Yesterday you did family. You need to get more provocative. It should be like genocide. You go, oh shit, no.
yeah. But see, we might have somebody like the average dude, and then they'll have to Google what the word means, and then that kind of takes away from it, Eric. So
that's true. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what you could do? You could have Robin. You could have the voice of Robin step in and say, "This means."
Mm-hmm.
yes, I would say unscripted and vulnerability. Audiences love that, love it, and
Yeah,
and,
they
and
do.
I,
They do love it.
Yeah.
well,
Good point,
and so that's an excellent point. I just think it's so hard to get that kind of organic conversation and try to tell a story at the same time. That's where the art comes in on it. I think, you know, it's like, hey, it feels like it's just organic conversation, but we're helping this person, you know, tell the audience who they are, develop the story, keeping everyone else engaged. I mean, these are goals. This is not where the current situation is. This is what.
Yeah.
We kind of envisioning.
We've got to be like Howard Stern. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That should be no problem whatsoever.
Well, here's a problem. I don't think the average, not the average dude, but the average businessman wants to talk about his sex life, but it's all I want to talk about. So there's a struggle internally. You know?
Yeah, that makes it difficult, Eric. It does.
Yeah. See, like, watch average dude. What's your favorite drug? I'll go first.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
No, it's not. It would make the show so much better. We talk about this all the time. Jerry Springer used to have a normal show. Nobody knows or cares. It was just he was trying to be Oprah. Then two hillbillies like started hitting each other, and his ratings skyrocketed. So
I remember watching the show that happened on where they first started fighting.
Oh, and then they were like, "Oh
and
shit!"
And then it was like,
"It's just fighting."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I used to tune in college just for the fights.
This sounds like somebody that's never done cocaine. Because right now, no one who's done coke would go, "Yeah, I like the vague feeling of love."
Eric, this is a telltale sign of never using drugs.
Becky, you're such a dare kid.
Yeah. Now let me ask you all this, just kind of going back to I think it's always important to know what other people are thinking. What did y'all think of what y'all saw of what we're doing? What do you think works? Where did we lose you yesterday? Right?
I thought it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. So that I think there's some things there, but that, you know, I had one person tell me, because I try to ask that from people that have tuned in, you know, where do we lose you? Right. I mean, and he said when we started showing some of the images, you know, it's hard because I don't look at the images Jenny's going to bring up, and she doesn't look at mine. So there's some coordination of that too that we'll have to work through. So
yeah. Right. I think too, you know, like you're trying to be like, I'm not saying you're trying. You're a sweet guy, right? And Jenny Winnie's sweet. You're Southern, so you're not gonna, you know, when you show images, you're not gonna show like, you know, you're not gonna show Auschwitz and go, well, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, we were going to do the same thing, Dan. This is the problem. We were going to do the same thing, but then Eric and I were kicked off 2 platforms after we showed a couple of our slots.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can believe that. Yeah. No, any of the images that we show, everything will be done to kind of validate. I hear what you're saying. To validate whoever it is that we're talking to really, you know, tee it up for them, so to speak. Yeah. Right.
I think we're both trying to be entertaining, but in opposite ways, and we got to figure out how that works.
Yeah, yeah.
We were thinking more nudity. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, we're like Fight Club. The difference is in our two shows, right? We're playing it very safe, and you're doing all the things we want to do, but we can't really get it.
We're not there yet. But Robin does have you been on Robin's Instagrams? Because his triceps are fine. He's ripped up. You can't tell because he's got a shirt on that has stamps on it.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, Robin is not in the American custom of wearing very tight clothes here to show off your physique. He wears kimonos and shawls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sex appeal does sell, which is why we
That's
need.
very true.
We've been discussing.
I want to see more of Tony.
Yeah, where's Tony? I really liked Tony yesterday.
Tony
He was one of
is
my
a
favorite
great guy.
partners.
Thank you, Robin, for that. That's an excellent idea. We're gonna do Tony more often. You hear me, Eric?
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. He's going to do some skits. I think that it would be fun. Eric and I have talked about that briefly, but I think it'd be fun to do skits and kind of read lines and kind of do a screenplay.
Yeah. We're talking about bits too, but we have no accents. Do you do other accents?
I have certain characters. I used to like to do like prank calls and things like that. So I've got
Like the
different
Jerky Boys.
I
I used to like prank calls.
did too. Go, man. I called
Get
a
out.
plumbing company one time and told the dispatch that I had accidentally flushed a kitten down the toilet. And I said, I believe I can hear it if I get down low. Just bear with me 1 second. And then I made a little kitten noise, and she freaked out. I mean, she was a big animal lover.
Oh my God, you're out of your fucking mind. You do impressions?
I can do like I'm Casey Kasem, counting them down for you every week.
Yeah, you're
Oh, that's
really
good.
at that.
Did he die?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
I have one I can do is Matthew McConaughey, right? He's like, all right. How we doing? Just living. LIVING.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
What do you got, Eric? What do you got? Give us one.
I got nothing. We're gonna have to do Robin on this one. Robin, do a lady.
Oh no.
Robin,
you-
do a woman.
Well, I did live in India for 10 years.
Oh, you gonna do an Indian?
Oh, no.
you're gonna
Wait,
do
is this going to get us canceled? Because remember, he's not in America.
If you guys want, I can do an Indian accent.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
hey, so now we can put Tony, the Indian, and
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
And I'll
to
interview
Lincoln
you.
to go
I
to
can
dinner.
interview you. Huh?
We're all going to dinner in a Lincoln with the dog.
hey, but then if we just think that kind of through, if we came in and we all had to play those characters in a certain kind of remember SNL Jeopardy?
Mm,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Celebrity Jeopardy. Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that be kind of cool? And that would be fun.
Turd Ferguson.
That would be
Remember
fun.
that?
We could be Turd Cruz.
All right, so we're working out bits right now. What else did we want to do?
So Jeannie Winnie and I had thought about doing Gump and Jeannie Winnie because I've said very often if I wasn't the average dude, I would be Forrest Gump because I share a lot of similarities with him.
Tom Hanks.
What's that?
I said Tom Hanks. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, Tom Hanks. But what I was going to say until I was rudely interrupted by
I'm
Rodney
sorry.
is that something with that. I think it would be fun to do a Gump and Jeannie Winnie. So
That would be fun.
yeah, Gump.
We had thought about doing LinkedIn dating. Actually, Eric had thought
LinkedIn
about
dating.
it. Then
Yeah.
we had thought about doing LinkedIn Love, where people had found love on LinkedIn and having them come on and tell us about why this is the match.com of the business world.
I love
and then-
that actually.
Thank you. And then we had one that we were going to do called I believe it was Done Vanished.
Done
Or was it
vanished.
Done Vanished, where someone comes on and tells us about a sale they were trying to make, and we try to track down the person that's vanished on them.
Yeah, like when a prospect ghosts you, we're going to use the network to get back in front of them.
Oh, that's
Right.
cool too.
Once we establish a network, you see.
Yeah, and try to track down that. I actually like that a lot. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
were gonna, go ahead.
And going back to the first one that you mentioned, the LinkedIn dating, I think that could get legs just from a standpoint of everybody's like, oh no, LinkedIn is not a dating site.
Have you seen my video about LinkedIn dating?
Do what now?
Have you
Eric
seen my
invented it.
video? Are you one of the 3 people that hasn't seen my video on the planet? It has like 45 views.
Oh wow! I have not seen that.
I'm going to send it.
Yeah,
You're gonna love
I missed that somehow.
Here's the thing
That's
about LinkedIn dating. You know they have a job. And I said too, you can filter out the open to work thing. So get those guys out of here. They're fucking, you know what I mean? You want somebody with a job if you're going to date on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And also, there's a few things you can tell. You can tell their work history, their commitment level, where they went to school, where they're from, right?
All kinds of things.
And now they have salary estimates. So you can even kind of gauge, whether they're going to be able to take you to a nice place. Or
Now let me ask you guys this something. You're going into corporate America. All of a sudden things change. You've got to go back into corporate America. You're applying for a job. Would you rather send a resume or have an in-person interview?
I would just have a website with all my credentials and a video of me, and and just send it out as a QR code in an email.
I would catfish them into sending me feet pics, and then if they don't give me the job, release them to the public.
Oh God damn it. I knew
That's
it
what
would come
happened
up
to
again.
By the way, just so you know, Robin got catfished by a feet pic expert.
Oh no!
Yeah, and
I
what was
did.
he looking for? What was he under the guise of? Modeling?
Yeah,
Yeah,
modeling
no,
strippers.
he really wanted like so he emailed me one day and he was like, hey, I want to get you as like a model for my new slipperware brand. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna send you the slippers and I want you to like send me pictures of the.
But he sent them to you, correct?
He did, and so I was like, okay, I copied the poses, I sent it to him, and now my feet are on the internet with some weirdo that I don't know. And it only occurred to me after because I didn't get paid. I was like,
But do you have the slippers?
I do. I still have them.
Okay, so
So you got paid.
exactly.
So
yeah,
you got
baby.
paid. Imagine he came back and was like, "I need the slippers back."
Yeah, foot
Wow.
comfort's payment, isn't it? There was
That's
a story on
amazing.
Fox the other day. It's sad, but I guess these scammers are out there flirting with you. They convince you to send a dick pic, and then they use that against you. They're like, "Ha ha, I'm a Nigerian. Give me 10 grand. I'm sending this to your mother."
Yeah.
Scam. That's a real good scam.
Send us $400 in Bitcoin immediately.
Yeah. Or I'm releasing the dick pics or Robin's feet pics.
Yeah.
We were going to do a bit called The Aquarium, which is like Shark Tank, but we're very nice about it. So if you have an idea, we pitch it. And then if anybody in our network, once we have a network, would like to invest. What do you think
I
about
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe it's a new bit. Maybe it's a new bit every week. It's just the idea generation machine. And hey, what are Eric, Rodney, and Robin going to be up to this week?
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I would say, I love these ideas. Let's keep going. But what I know that I need to feel if I'm in the least starting to lose energy, lose that excitement, then I know that I've got to do something. Because if I don't feel it, then nobody else will feel it.
You're right. You know what I think we really need is we need Dave Chappelle to do the first 30 minutes, and then we close out the last.
There you go.
You know what I mean? That's
Bring
like
in
if it was me,
Oprah.
I say we bring in like a professional comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe just a really good one that we could afford. Someone free, perhaps.
Hey, I
Have them do
know
a bit.
things you could afford. Sorry. go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we've had it. Well, we've had some interest from comedians, but I don't know if they're comedians.
Don't mention it.
Here's the other thing we do. Well, this was my general idea is that I wanted to do the news first, like riff on the news. So
Yes.
the guests would get a feel for the show. And then during the guest pontification part would kind of get what the show's about. But I think in some cases, they just go into their normal spiel. I'm like, you're missing the point here.
Yes.
You want to get to the human.
It's hard to you want to guide the guests, but give them a lot of freedom too, and it can be kind of difficult to do that. That's what I'm finding because I want the guests to, as you say, kind of expound, pontificate.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to pontificate too long.
Well, that's the thing too. There's a dance. It's a pontification dance.
Yes, that is the whole deal because we lose. I think when we're talking, we lose that idea of does anybody find me interesting anymore?
Yeah. I mean, I've never felt that, but I can imagine for other people.
Yeah, I think Eric's right. I think too, like when you watch like Jimmy Fallon and those guys, and those shows, they'll always talk about like things they saw in the news or like whatever's going on, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, before you go, what's this movie you're doing?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm in such and such,"
That's right. Yeah,
That's how I think you got to do it. But a lot of times people, and I probably go to this myself. yourself too. You get on there and you're like, I own a company. This is what I do. I need clients. Get on, and it's
Exactly.
like, well, what's
and
going
nobody
on?
gives a fuck.
Nobody
That
cares.
is exactly what we're trying to, that's what I've noticed from doing a lot of networking groups and
I
things.
thought yesterday was good though. I didn't feel like anybody was pitching anything.
No.
Right. And that wasn't, she's not really, but she has some businesses. She is an entrepreneur, but she's
Yeah,
been,
I got that. But I mean, I didn't feel like she was like, I own a business and this is what I do. Send your credit card number. Where
I'll tell you
sometimes
this,
when you
though.
get on shows, they do.
She pitched the fuck out of ayahuasca because I was ready to go after that.
yeah, she did it.
Yeah, my bags are packed.
Exactly.
We're leaving tonight.
We're going to
Hey,
Columbia
we'll do
first.
that. We can do a live from the tent.
Yeah, you know what we should do? This is what we should do. I bet this would get some views. Is we should take a month and go to Colombia and report live from Colombia what's going on. Seriously, I'm serious. Don't you
I
think?
thought it was going to be more than that. No, we're just going to go do. Yeah, no, I'm with it.
And
Why
then
don't
I think that we do ayahuasca.
I think we should do a hallucinogenic world tour. We take the show on the road. We'll have shaman on as guests, although not Mexican shaman because we were told they're not the real.
Or Colombian shamans.
Yeah, right.
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 Here's the thing about Jimmy Fallon or all those talk shows, and this is why I think it's a big ask for what we're doing. So on Jimmy Fallon, you have a professional celebrity interviewer. Then you would get a professional entertainer. And those segments, 9 times out of 10, are awful, right? And they have writers, and they've discussed what they're going to talk about beforehand, and it still sucks. We're asking amateurs to be entertaining. That's a big ask, So I think it's on us to do segments that are entertaining, ask questions that are going to elicit better responses,
Yeah.
I think we are.
Maybe we do skits and then we add them as the main character of the skit, but we play around them.
Yes, we need to help them in some way like that.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
I think what Rodney said earlier too, on top of that, just that getting them to tell their story in an impactful way would just be, that's the goal.
Yeah. James Black, by the way, is the guy that's bringing us all to Columbia.
Yeah, we had him on this week. He was on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great, man.
Do you think it's a sign from the universe that we had a guy that talked about hallucinogenics, and then the next day the average dude has a lady that talks about hallucinogenics?
Hey, I've said it from the beginning. Hey, there's some synergy between these two lives. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Do
Wait,
you
now
think
is one of her businesses ayahuasca trips or no?
No.
Okay.
It should be.
It probably could be, and maybe it will be.
Yeah.
So
Robin, you got to get some ayahuasca in the Philippines. Like, I'm sure we get jungles, right?
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting because you and I are both atheists, and the girl yesterday was saying that ayahuasca is really spiritual, and just you're gonna feel like you're talking to God.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, if I have a conversation with God, I'm willing to admit I'm wrong. I'm not going to be one of these guys like that. That wasn't God.
Well,
No,
let me tell you this, Eric. If you do happen to have a conference with God, can you ask him the best way to sell PO?
You get to ask God one question. You're like, how do I get more PEO leads? Yeah, hallucinogenics and PTSD. I've read a lot and I've watched a lot, and I don't. Here's the thing too. I always feel shitty about because like you're supposed to. Your guest said it yesterday. You go to the shaman and like you tell them your intention. And my intention would be, man, I just want to go lick God's taint or something. You know what I mean? I want to go get colors and see sounds. Like I have nothing to fix. I don't think. I just want to have a good time. Is that okay? I don't have.
It's funny you mentioned that. People talk about going back to heal trauma. I mean, once you heal all the trauma, what are you going back for?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't have
Well,
that
that
much
time it's
trauma.
recreation. Listen, there'll be more trauma. Right?
I don't have any trauma to fix yet. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Robin, I'm very disappointed to learn that you don't believe in God.
Okay, no. So here's the thing.
He believes in aliens. He doesn't believe in God.
Yeah,
That's my
I'm agnostic. I'm agnostic.
Agnostic. There you go. I think that's
God's.
a safer bet.
Yeah. Eric's
I'm
an
agnostic
atheist.
too. I just say
That
atheist
is-
to make
Well,
sense.
Eric has a heart. I think Eric actually believes in God somewhere in there. He's got a belief. He's got a strong.
I believe that.
He
believes in
God is
love.
nature. Yep, that's right.
I'll show you the closest thing I've ever seen to God, and that is Tom Brady. If there's any proof that there may be a God, it's that this man existed and played for the New England Patriots. Outside of that, I don't see much evidence. I gotta be honest. Dude, our source of light gives us cancer. Like, come on, you couldn't fix that. Like, there's some real issues going on.
Oh, wow.
The planet he makes, 80% water, it's all undrinkable. Stop it. You couldn't have made it Sprite. That wouldn't have been better for all of us.
Maybe he didn't get into the granular different things that were happening. He just set things in motion. He pushed the first domino.
So you're
What else does
saying
he have
broad
going on?
strokes guy.
He's a broad strokes guy. I don't know. I wish I could believe that, but then I read the Bible and he cares whether or not I masturbate. That seems like micromanaging. Hey,
Wow.
that's
We
not
can't
a
work under these models. It's either one or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
This show is canceled.
No,
Yeah. I wasn't here. If anybody asked, I was not here.
We
Sorry,
can't work under
the
these
Bible,
restrictions.
Anybody have any more ideas for bits before we go?
I was also thinking that maybe Robin, we could have on some of the cult members from maybe some people.
No.
From the
Oh,
Philippines.
that's right. The average dude, I don't know if you know, but there's like a secret society that runs the Philippines, and you're not even allowed to say their name.
Yikes.
Yeah.
We've said too much already.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
look.
we don't want you getting in trouble there, Robin.
Nah,
Well, it's too late for that.
Well, so what do
I mean,
y'all
they
think about this? In one, not this coming Thursday, but the week after that. So maybe that's. I think we should. All three of you should come on Jenny Weenie and the Average Dude. We'll have some type of setup, and we'll bring in one at a time, and put y'all all through this same kind of. Let's see what they say.
Yes.
I love
Just
it.
make sure you do the pictures of like churches.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, we know y'all all pretty well now, so we're going to ink blot the heck out of you. And,
My worry for the show is, will LinkedIn be able to handle this? That's my real concern.
yeah, they're going to need some like extra servers or something. I don't know. It's all technical.
Listen, our audience needs more information about the giant Filipino
The
cult.
Is it
Okay.
the Marcos family? Is it the Marcos family?
So a lot of people argue that the reason that the Marcos family is back in power is because of this religious group, is because they do like a communal voting. So like they just agree on one person that they're all going to vote for, and then once that happens, it's a deal.
So it does involve the Marcos.
Yeah,
I just
and they do believe that on the day of reckoning, there's just going to be like a giant spaceship that comes to their churches and like saves them. So, I mean, it's quite
always the
ridiculous.
fucking spaceships that are coming to save them.
Yeah.
It's weird sex stuff in
Very bizarre.
spaceships. Like, can any cult stop with this?
Here it is, Eric. A new cult. No spaceships and no
weird, just
and
moderately weird sex.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. Caligula meets
Yeah. You know what trips me out too is like the Mormons have an opportunity for great weird sex stuff because they have multiple wives, but you're not allowed to have threesomes. Meanwhile, they have the same kid touching issue. It's like you were so close. You were so close about multiple chicks. Like you nailed it. And then you ruined it. You know, I think the average dude agrees with that.
The average dude needs for you to land this plane so I can erase all evidence that I was here.
You have 3 minutes. Okay, so I think we covered a lot today. I think in 2 weeks we're going to be on your show.
2 weeks, y'all are going to be on the
Sounds
show.
right.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be good. It's going to be real good. I'm
I
already.
think this should be interesting because we're going the Stern route, and you're going more traditionally Oprah. I think.
Oprah.
Yeah.
Oprah route.
Yeah, I don't want to over Oprah it, but we also want to kind of go with our strengths and kind of who
You
we
want
are.
to be genuine, right? You want to be authentic.
Yeah, but I don't want to be so genuine and authentic that it's boring, you know. So it's a fine line. So to have y'all on somewhere in there, there's the right little balance. So
I think so.
So
You know what you might want to do is combine the shows. We'll just have 5 people in this box.
oh yeah, we'll just jam everybody in here.
We'll have the Eric and Rodney show with everyone.
Hey, maybe peripherals, you know, around the square, we've got some smaller squares and people can work their way into the main square. It's like a game.
LinkedIn squares. I like it.
Yeah, they're like Hollywood squares, and nobody gives a fuck about any of the squares. You know, nobody's famous.
Yeah. We've got 12 very unfamous people here with us.
Right. Exactly what I wanted to watch.
We've got 12 people who combined have 500 connections.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Daniel, thank you for jumping on. We needed to get
Yeah.
you.
I enjoyed it. It was a fun Friday.
It was.
We'll edit out all the controversial things you said.
I would appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Bye, America.
Later.